All right, guys, welcome to this Friday edition of Yogalates. Please modify as needed. We do a whole lot of different stuff in these stretch flows. So again, if it doesn't feel right, please don't do it. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me a little better. We're going to start off with a chair pose to a mountain pose to a forward fold, and we'll build on that as we go. Take a hip width stance with your feet. Mountain pose. I want you to really reach your head tall to the sky, draw your abs in tight, squeeze your shoulder blades, squeeze your glutes. Let's take 3 breaths. I want you to get as tall as you can. Press your feet into the floor. Draw your abs in tight, squeeze your glutes, pull the shoulder blades and shoulders back, open your chest up. 2 more breaths. Big, deep belly breaths. Let's find the breath for a second. Find your center. Pressing the feet into the floor, reaching the head to the sky, pulling the shoulders back, opening the chest up. 1 more breath. Chair pose. I want you to stick your hips back and reach your arms up and out in front of you as high as you can. Reach through the fingers, push your hips back. Make that nice long line through the arms and spine. 1 more breath. Take a breath in, stand up to mountain pose, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your shoulder blades. Exhale, forward, fold. Trace the hands down the legs, relax into your knees. 3 breaths on our first fold. Relax in. Your head and arms hang heavy. With each exhale, we're folding a little bit deeper into the legs. 2 more breaths. Let's stretch those hamstrings good. If you need to soften your knees up, you can. Of course, you can always keep the hands up on the legs. If you can't, bring them to the floor. Find a position that works for you where you're getting a good stretch. 1 more breath. We're going to unroll the spine up 1 vertebrae at a time and go right into chair pose. Big breath in. Stick the hips back. Reach the arms up as high as you can. Forward. Sink back into the heels. Push your hips back behind you as you reach forward. Stretching the lats, chest. We're getting the legs warmed up a bit. 1 more breath. Take a big breath in. Stand tall to mountain pose. Bring the arms down. Squeeze the glutes, shoulder blades. Open the chest. Exhale. Forward fold. Relax down. 3 breaths. We're going to go through that again. So we're going to try to get more fluid, more precise. Put it all together in one nice flow. 2 breaths. Sinking deeper into the legs. Head and arms are hanging heavy. Relax your body as much as you can so you can get deeper and deeper into your fold. 1 more breath. Here's where we unroll the spine up. Take a big breath in as you get to the top. Chair pose. Here we go. Reach. Try to get the arms in line with your spine. Lift. Arms in line with the ears and spine. Push your hips back behind you. 1 more breath. Inhale. Stand tall. Squeeze the glutes, shoulder blades. Reach the head up. Pull the shoulders back. Exhale. Forward fold. This time we add in a sway. Take your hands as low as you can to your legs. Sway the hips or take them to the floor. Keep the knees extended straight. Relax into your legs as you sway those hips side to side. Feel the stretch move from the back of one leg to the back of the other. 2 more breaths. One more breath, folding and swaying with control, precision, moving with the breath. Okay, peel the spine up 1 vertebrae at a time. I'm going to turn. We're going to move on to our next sequence. We're going to start in an extended triangle. Have 1 set of toes Perpendicular, your back toes facing forward. Any position where you can see me, our classic triangle. One toes forward, back toes are facing same direction as you. Remember, in triangle, we want everything through the hips. You need to feel really strong and solid in the legs, so make sure you're wide. Trace your hand down your front lead leg and extend the arm. Keep your chest up. Pretend like there's a wall behind you. We're keeping our back flat against it as we trace down. 3 breaths. Push your top shoulder behind you as you trace down and then reach. We can see why they call it triangle. Look, we're making 2 triangles here. One through the legs, one with the arm and the leg. 2 breaths. Abs are tight. We're getting this back side as long as you can. We're pushing through that back foot and leg, and we're reaching across the opposite direction with the same arm. Sink down a little deeper without bending the knee. 1 more breath. We go to triangle fold. Take your top hand down to join your bottom wherever it is. You can be up here on the leg and fold. You can be down on the shin, or you can take the hands to the floor. Relax into your front lead leg, toes pointing forward on that front lead leg. 3 breaths. Big hamstring stretch. Keep the knee extended straight. And if you feel solid, if you have your hands on the floor, you can move the hips around. Find that perfect little spot where you're strong in the legs and your stance. You can really focus on folding. Let's take 1 more breath, folding into that left leg. If you need to bend your knee to get the hands to the floor, go ahead, bend your knee so you can take both hands to the floor and then walk them under your chest. Turn your lead set of toes forward, so both toes are set forward. Whatever leg you had forward leading with, you're gonna keep that straight. You're gonna bend your opposite knee. Lateral low lunge. 3 breaths. Keep the feet flat. So if you got your left leg forward that you trace down, we're keeping that leg straight still. Stretching the adductors, the inner thigh, opening up the hips. Push that knee out, let your hips drop down. 2 more breaths. Let's give it 1 more breath, guys. We're gonna push back to tabletop in the center. Let's walk the hands back through the legs in a nice, wide, deep sumo fold. Soften your knees up a bit. 3 breaths. Get as deep as you can into your fold, as far back onto your fingertips as you can. Gently pulling the head down and through the legs. Let's give 1 more breath. Walk the hands under the chest before you unroll the spine up, 1 vertebrae at a time. And when you get to the top, you're going to turn your opposite toes forward for the triangle sequence. So if you had your left leg leading, have your right leg leading now. And we start an extended triangle on the opposite side you just did. Trace your hands down slowly. Maybe you stay up here and you just bend at the waist. If you're really tight in your hamstrings, that's fine. Take the hand down, find your sticking point for your hamstrings. Once you find it, we bend at the waist and reach, but we keep our chest up tall. The wall is behind us. We're staying flat against it as we trace down. 2 more breaths. Make that long line. Get that stretch all the way down your side. 1 more breath before we fold into our triangle. Wherever your bottom hand is, take your top hand down to join it, and then fold into your lead front leg without bending the knee. Find that sticking point, and we take our classic 3 breaths past it. Right back to the hamstrings. We do a lot of hamstring stretching in this class. Again, the more you can relax your body, the deeper you get into your stretches, into your poses. Take all the tonus and tension out of your body. Relax. Let your head and chest sink down into your lead leg. One more breath. If you need to bend your knee now to get the hands to the floor, you can do so. Once your hands are to the floor, walk them under your chest and then turn your toes so that both sets are forward now. Bend your opposite leg so that that front lead leg is still straight for our lateral low lunge pose. 3 breaths, working a little deeper through those sticking points with each exhale. Try to keep your feet flat so we get good movement in the ankles. We're going to put just a few of these together in a minute. We've stretched both sides now. Let's get the knees warmed up better. One more breath. Let's alternate through our lateral low lunge stretches. Inhale up to the other side. Exhale down. 3, 2, 1. Inhale up. Walk the hands with you. Exhale down as needed. 3, 2, 1. On your breath, up. On your breath, down. Keep trying to get deeper and deeper. On your breath, up. Exhale down. Let's do 2 more on each side. Inhale up. Stay fluid. Exhale down. Remember, precise movements with the breath. Inhale up. Exhale down. We're going to do 1 more on each side, low as you can. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale down. Come back to tabletop in the center. Peel the back up. We always unroll the spine slowly. And we are going to take it down to the floor, guys. So I'm going to ask you to just step to one back edge of your mat. We're going to be down on the floor for the rest of the class, so make sure your monitor is somewhere where you can see me. We're going to just walk the hands out. Take the hands down to your mat. Walk forward slowly until you're in full prone plank position. Draw the abs tight. Let your knees come down softly to cobra. Head, chest tall, shoulders back. Abs in tight, squeeze your glutes. And remember, if cobra is not good for your back, come down to your elbows, lift your head up, pull your shoulders back, and then press through your forearms. So you're pressing yourself up, pushing off on the forearms, or pressing yourself up with the hands. Let's give it 2 more breaths. What do you think about letting your body kind of sink down as you pull your shoulders back and reach your head up? You know, really kind of we're going to unload the spine as much as we can. So you're going to let your trunk fall down, but you're going to lift your head up, shoulders back. So we're kind of pulling against that. Use the gravity to help you with the stretch. Last breath, child's pose. Sink back as deep as you can. Find your child's pose. Whatever lets you get as deep onto your feet as you can. Relax down into your mat. Let's take a few nice, long, deep belly breaths. Just really take the energy back down to 0. Keep getting flatter and flatter into your mat with each exhale. Get the feet as flat as you can. Really let your hips sink back. We're going to go right to thread the needle today. Come into table pose. Remember, every stretch pose that we do in table pose, unless I say otherwise, is going to be best positioned The knees staying under the hips at 90 degrees, the hips staying at 90 degrees. So make sure you keep that knee under your hip. Put your right arm out in front of you as far as you can without changing the angle of your hip. Palm down, right arm straight out in front of your shoulder. Left hand, palm up. We're going to thread it under the chest across as far as you can. Then you're going to push. You're going to let your body weight sink down on top of that left shoulder. So both arms are as straight as you can get them. The right hand in front, the palm is down on the floor. The left hand threading through under the chest across to the right. The palm is up. Once you let your body weight sink down onto your left arm, you're going to twist and look over your left shoulder. And that will put you a little deeper into that shoulder blade stretch, into the mid, upper back, and left shoulder blade. 3 breaths. Keep trying to sink down a little deeper. Let your body weight take you down a little bit more into the stretch as you twist and look over your left shoulder. Let's give it one more breath. We're going to just go right to the other side. Unthread the left arm. Stick it out in front of your shoulder with the palm down as straight as you can. Thread the right arm through. Follow the same steps. Sink your weight down, arms straight. This might already be putting you pretty well into the stretch. If you can take a little bit deeper, you just twist, look over your right shoulder, and then let your body weight sink down right on top of that right shoulder. 3 breaths. Let's give it one more breath, and then we're going to take it up a notch. We're going to go right to our heel presses. Unthread your right arm, come into table pose. Step your feet back one at a time so you're in full prone plank position. Dive your head down. Take the weight to your feet as much as you can so you're not killing your arms. Here is our heel presses, or they also call it walking and down dog. Walking and down dog. Don't worry about following me. I want you to move with your breath. Inhale when you transition the knees. Exhale as you press the heel of your straight leg into the floor for the Achilles tendon, soleus, calf, and hamstring attachment stretch. Really hitting all the posterior leg muscles. If you dive your head down deeper and deeper, you'll even get up into those hamstrings. Good. Let's do 3 more breaths. And we'll give the arms a rest. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Flatten your back out. Let your knees come down softly. Sit up tall into hero pose. We're going to go right to forward low lunge. Give the shoulders a break. We just warmed up the back of the legs. Let's stretch the front. Step your left foot forward for forward low lunge. Make sure you have a big angle at the knee. Head, chest tall, shoulders back. Abs tight. Lean the hips forward. Maintaining that perfect posture. Should have your left leg forward. Head reaching up to the sky. Pulling the shoulders back. Leaning the hips forward. Abs are in tight. We're squeezing the glutes on that back right leg. Squeeze your backside as you push your hips forward. It will allow you to get a little deeper into the stretch. Take 1 or 2 more breaths into it. Then we're going to add in a little side bend and twist. So we're stretching the hip flexors of that back right leg. All the muscles, top of the thigh, front of the hip that run up into the abdomen. We're going to try to get a little deeper into that big psoas hip flexors. The biggest hip flexor attaches from the top of your hip all the way up to your thoracic spine. Big muscle runs up into your abdomen, down to the front of your hip. I want you to take a breath in and bring your right arm up. So now we're forcing that psoas to stretch a little bit more. If you're getting a big stretch, you can stay here. If you can go a little deeper with me, I want you to bend at your waist to the left. So we have the right leg back, right arm up. We're bending to the side at the waist to the left. And then you're going to turn and look over your left shoulder. As you bend and reach to the left at your waist, keeping the head chest up. 2 more breaths. Squeezing the glutes, abs tight, head up, shoulders back, bending at the waist to the left, reaching to the left, turning and looking over the left shoulder. Whew. It's a whole chapter for one stretch. Let's give it 1 more breath. Good. Take your right hand down to the floor under your chest, and then your left. Step your left leg back. Sit up tall. Step your right leg forward. We're just going to go right to the other side. We're going to follow the same steps. Keep your right hand, I forgot to mention this, so right leg's forward. You can keep your right hand on your thigh or to your side for now. Lean the hips forward into our first step. Forward low lunge. First step for our hip flexor stretch. Abs tight, squeeze the left glutes. Pull the shoulders back. Sit up tall. Let's give it 1 more breath. Next step. Breath in, left arm. High as you can reach, up and behind you. Still leaning the hips forward. Still squeezing the glutes. Step 2, bend to the right at your waist. So we're reaching and bending at the waist to the right. Turn and look over your shoulder is the final step. 3 breaths. Abs in, squeeze the glutes. Feel that big stretch from the top of the thigh, front of the hip, all the way up into the left side of your abdomen. Draw the abs tight. Squeeze your glutes. Turn, bend at the waist. 1 more breath. Okay, take the left hand down to the floor and then the right hand so you can draw your right leg back. Come into our recovery child's pose position to restore. Take the energy all the way back down to 0 for a moment. Let's take 3 nice, long, deep belly breaths, and we're going to get off the knees. Move on to our final little sequence before our cool cool down. 2 breaths. Not engaging any muscle. Relax, recover, restore. Get that energy all the way down. Get lots of oxygen in the body. 1 more breath. And we'll start in butterfly. Sit yourself up. Have a seat on your butt by just rolling to your side, bringing your legs out in front of you. Once you're on your butt, go to butterfly position, which is bottom of the feet together. Push the knees out wide. Grab onto your toes. Relax down into your feet. Slowly find your sticking point. 3 breaths. So as we fold down, head, chest towards the feet, we're actively pushing the knees wide, and we're just grabbing onto the toes and feet for a little bit of leverage to help us get down through those sticking points. 2 breaths, relax your body as much as you can so you can sink deeper and deeper. Take all the tonus and tension out. Don't fight the stretch. Relax, take a big breath in. And when you exhale, you're going to let everything get heavy, and you're going to try to sink a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper. Keep them going. If you really, really relax and get down into that deeper part of the stretch, you're not just stretching the inner thighs and opening the hips up. You can start feeling it in the low back once you can relax your body and your back. Let's give it 1 more breath. Roll yourself up nice and slow. Sit tall. Extend your legs out straight at 45 degrees. Make a nice big V shape with your legs. Keep the knees fully extended. Keep the toes to the ceiling. Now we walk the fingers forward for a wide-legged forward spine stretch. Walk the fingertips out. Feel the stretch on the inner thighs, adductors. Once you get all the way under your fingertips, make sure you don't bend the knees. Keep the toes up as best as you can. They'll want to plop out because we're asking all these lateral leg muscles, the lateral gastroc, the IT band, the lateral hamstring head, which is that big biceps femoris, all these muscles get tight. Wants the toes to plop out to make it easier. Keep the toes up, walk them forward. 2 more breaths. Relax your body. Once you get as far out on your fingertips as you can, and continue to sink into the stretch a little deeper. 1 more breath. Peel yourself back. Make sure you have room behind you. We're gonna roll back to good morning. If your back's okay with it, do a roll back. It's a Pilates exercise. Roll up, roll back. 1 vertebrae at a time, or go to your side. However you can get flat is fine. Once you do get flat, open yourself up to good morning stretch. Decompress. Reach back through the fingers, reach down through the toes. 2 more breaths. Keep it getting longer and flatter. Abs are tight. Everything's pulling away from the trunk and spine. 1 more breath. Hug the knees into your chest. Massage the back side to side. Put a little rock in your cradle. Take 3 breaths. Make sure your tailbone is lifting up as you hug those knees. We're going to do 1 more quick stretch, and then we got to wrap it up. I didn't realize what time it is. It's one of those days that went fast. We're going to finish in a double hip twist stretch, but we're going to anchor the legs first and then take the arm over. So stack your feet and legs together like so. So I've got my knees and feet totally together in this kind of clamshell position. Take your right knee over, so take your legs over to the right. It's okay if your left arm lifts. So go into like if you're laying in bed. You're going to have your legs stacked together right on top of each other, feet, knees touching. My left shoulder has come up because I have my legs over to the right. Put your left arm up high as you can. Put your right hand on top of your left top knee. And on your exhale, you're going to twist and reach behind you with the left arm. So the knees, legs are stacked over to the right. We're pushing them down and anchoring them with the right hand. And then we're twisting and reaching behind you to the left with the palm up. Turn your head, look down your left arm. As you twist, that top left knee is going to want to pop up. You're going to use your right hand to push it down and anchor it. 2 more breaths. See if you can get your left shoulder flat on the floor behind you without your top left knee popping up. Reaching out through those fingers behind you with the palm up on the left side. Turn your head, look down your left arm as you twist and reach back. Push that top left knee down firmly for 1 more breath. Let's go right to the other side. Twist your hips up, take them over to your left. Follow the same steps. It's okay, let the right shoulder come up. Stack the legs, take the right arm up, push the legs down with the left hand now. And on your exhale, twist, reach behind you. You put as much bend in the knees as you want, wherever you feel comfortable to keep them anchored down and stacked on top of each other. We're trying to get that right shoulder flat on the floor without that top knee lifting. 2 more breaths. This will be our last stretch. We'll do a few Shavasana breaths. Get lots of air back in the body. Remember, once you've stretched as much as we just did, blood flow is much better than it was before we started. We can take advantage of that and get our oxygen saturation really high. It's one of the things that kind of gives you that euphoric feeling when we sit up after our Yogalates flow. Last breath, guys. We'll return the knees back up in the center, lay flat on your back, extend your legs out straight, let the toes plop out now. Relax your arms to your sides with your palms up. Get as comfortable as you can. Close your eyes. We're going to take 5 of the longest, deepest belly breaths you can. Every bit of air you can, all the way in, and every little bit of that air out. Here we go. 5, as long and as deep as you can. 4 long, deep belly breaths. Everything's getting heavy. Just keep melting more into the floor. 3 more big belly breaths. 2. 1 more big, long, deep belly breath, as long in and out as you can. Blow that air out slowly. Once you've let all that air out, bring your arms behind you for 1 more good morning stretch. If your back's okay with it, bring your feet a little bit off the floor. Stretch out as big as you can. Reach back through the fingers, down through the toes. Feet can be up or on the floor, abs tight. Take a big breath into it. Okay, let your feet come down. Open your eyes when you're ready. Roll up or sit yourself up any way you like. And that is where we will end our Yogalates edition this Friday. Hope you guys liked that one. I hope you